Welcome, welcome. We are here Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to My Wednesday Comics for the last week in April. Can I get a what? April, oh my goodness. Say goodbye to April. We're already, let's see, January, February, March, April. We're already well over, we're a third through 2025. That is crazy. I can't believe how fast this year is going. And yeah, it is flying by. School is starting to head towards the finish line. I mean, work is work, right? Everybody's just working, but we're all tired too. But yeah, it seems like I felt like we just started 2025. But as I was typing in the date for the thumbnail on today's episode, I was like, holy cow, we're already on the 30th, end of April. That's crazy. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. This is My Wednesday Comics, and it's an opportunity to check out the comics that, bracket My Wednesday Comics. Time to check out the comics that I wanted to check out this week and just go to share them with you guys and just go over some stuff like not only the new comics, because there are a handful of new comics that I picked up today, but also there were some back issues that I brought up last week that I didn't get to cover. And so I'm going to pull those out today. And then there was a couple cool things that I found over the weekend. So yeah, it's all just a smattering, I was going to say conglomeration. It's not a conglomeration. Just a whole gathering of all the comic stuff that I want to share with everybody here on this channel this week. And I say this every week, and I mean it. It's so true. You would think that you would run out of things to talk about when it comes to comics. Like, you would think that a weekly clip would be too much, but it's not. There's always something new to talk about, and it always leads to the next thing. So it's really exciting. Even the back issues that I brought up last week that I didn't get to, there was another back issue I picked up that kind of ties into it. So it's like, holy cow, there's even more. And I was actually waiting for something to be delivered today, and it didn't get delivered, which was a bummer, but it would have been a cool thing to look at, and it was comics related as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good week. And speaking of comics related, before I forget, I was just going to show this. Let's see how we go. Show this. This is coming out this weekend. Don't forget, everybody, this weekend is free comic book day. So that's a pretty awesome thing that the comic industry, I don't know if they do this in outside of America. I'm not sure. For those of you who are not American and that have your finger on the pulse of comic books, let me know if they do free comic book day other places. But here, I believe it's always in May, maybe always the first Saturday in May. I'm not 100% sure. But there's a free comic book day, which is just a great way for comic book stores to attract audiences that normally don't go into local comic book stores, right? Who doesn't want free stuff? And I've been for, I don't know, many, many years, I will go. And usually, I'd say about 80% of the stuff that I pick up on free comic book day is filler. But there's always like that 20% that you're like, wow, that's kind of cool. Or, oh, I didn't know that was coming. And there's some gems, there's some years that something will come out that's really exciting. So in the past, maybe 2 years ago, there was the Energon universe. Before they launched Transformers, before they launched G.I. Joe, the relaunch of G.I. Joe, Skybound released a free comic book day for the Energon universe. And it just gave everybody like a taste of like, hey, this is what we're thinking. This is what we're going to do. Sometimes it's a standalone issue. Sometimes it's like a preview of a comic that will be coming out later in the year. But it's just kind of a cool like thing to get people excited, get people, you know, to let people know about certain books or titles that that they weren't aware of. So I always love going. It's fun to celebrate comic book stores, and usually it also like allows you to walk around and you pick up things that you don't normally do. Oftentimes there's a lot of kids there because who doesn't like free comic books for kids? And they gear a lot of the free comic books that they release towards the younger market, so that's really fun too. So yeah, it's awesome. It's a really fun time. So if you guys are available or are able to, wherever you are, go check it out. It's this Saturday. Don't forget. I got this little flyer because I happened to run into Chris from Invisible Jet Comics at the Kinko's when I was photocopying my Frank Miller page, which I've been doing on the master study. When I was doing some copying there, I just ran into her and she was printing these out. So she just handed one. And there you go, Invisible Jet Comics. So I will probably stop by her store this weekend as well. I'm sure she'll have it decked out and having a really fun time there. So don't forget that free comic book store. Also, I don't want to forget at the beginning of this stream, I love to just check in with my buddy Shanth, meta. My buddy Shanth's campaign, Springball Terminal Monstrosity. That was one of the trailers that I showed before this stream. I always love to track it as he's kind of going through this next 30 days of his campaign, but he's already at $20,783, 388 backers. Go back Shanth's campaign on Indiegogo. It's an awesome book, and he's working hard on it, and it's going to be great. So I just want to support him as much as I can on my stream. This little trailer here is the one that I played, so no need to show it there, but there's a whole bunch of different perks you can get. That's what it looks like. Shanth describes it as Evil Dead meets, I just blanked. Evil Dead meets Spider-Man, and Ditko, McFarlane, all the classic Spider-Man artists. He was really heavily influenced when he was working on this book in the early 2000s, and now he's bringing it back and amping it up, as Shanth always does, pretty much redoing the whole stinking thing. But it's going to be awesome, and it's a fun character, and dang it, I got to do my version of Springball one of these days. I really want to draw my version of Springball. So maybe I'll do that one of these streams. But yeah, so that's all the kind of... Oh, no, there's one more thing. But let me catch up with the chat before I get too far behind, as I do. Where are the... Mark's Music Obsession. What's up, Mark's Music Obsession? I read that Mark said, here he goes. He says, I'm finished working for the week. I'm glad to be able to relax a few days. That's great. Get out early. That's amazing. You got 4-day weekend? That's great. Oh, sorry. We're shooting the fat here. So great to see you, Mark's Music Obsession. John. Oh, wait. Shoot. Why is this all out of order? Hello, Mark's Music Obsession. John says.
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
Happy to see you, John. Here's Timmy Mello is here saying hello.
And the Guardians are headed to October.
I'm missing some of the chat. That's why I'm a little confused here. Oh, here we go. It's all wacky. Hail chat, I managed to get a much needed day of free work, especially after last night's rain delay. Oh, I'm assuming that's the Guardians game you're talking about, Timmy Mello. Didn't realize that you guys were rained out over there. I just checked, it just happened to peak in your record. 16-13. It's great. We're a little bit ahead of you guys. I think the Giants are 19-11. It's a tight race in the Western Conference, the National League Western Conference. I'm thinking of basketball. It's a really tight race right now. So we're jockeying for position in there. But whoever thought that the Giants would be even close to in the race of this, because there's a lot of stacked teams in our division. So yeah, fun stuff. Great start to baseball. Mark says we're missing all the ladies of Rocky's Usual Bunch. Not this one. Emo Trash is here. What's up, Emo Trash? Can't speak for the chat ninja, Emo Trash says. She'll come. She was commenting on the last stream, so the master study stream, for those of you who weren't there or weren't able to check it out yet, I did a master study stream on Monday. Started inking the Frank Miller Daredevil page, and it's turning out so fantastic. I'm very, very happy. I think, I'm always enjoying these master studies that I do, but this one in particular was just like, there's something exciting, even more exciting about it as I'm working on it. So I'm just like, oh, I want to get to the next stream on this. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but the first panel that I worked on, the Daredevil busting out of the window, turned out really great. Probably just because the inking part of it turned out great. So that's why I'm very excited about the page. Watch, I'll start working on the second panel and it'll be sucky and then I'll hate it. But but yeah, I'm very excited about that. Very excited to do another stream. I don't know when that will be. Maybe this week. Just because I am jazzed about doing it, but I do have some editing that I need to get done. Some different things I'm trying to adjust a little. A couple of the things that I'm doing. Let me know what you guys think. So one of the videos that I put out on my channel, on the YouTube shorts at least, is I'll do like a 15-second comic review. And those are always fun. They're very easy to make. And I'll usually pick one or two or three, a handful of books to do these 15-second shorts. And they're just like showing you images from inside the book. And I'll do a little summary, do a voiceover, done. And I'll publish it. But I was trying to think of another way of revamping the shorts a little bit. So one of the things I was thinking of was I love, especially when people comment on those shorts, and there's, varying comments that come in, but the ones I really like are people that have differing views, whether they're like, I didn't really like that, or, oh, the artwork's great in that, or I got a few comments recently that were like pretty in depth about just these 15-second books. So whoever they were that commented, they had obviously read the book. They had a strong opinion about it, and they would leave it in the comments. And I thought it was so cool. Like when people watch reviews, you'll have a group of people that just kind of absorb the review and say, cool. Or you have people that will watch the review and be like, no, I don't agree with that, and here is why. Or I do agree with that, and here is why. Or I love this. Have you thought of this? Like that's an extra added layer of creating YouTube content that is different than anything else. Like I could be talking into the void till the cows come home, and it wouldn't really matter, and I wouldn't really get anything out of it. I would just be talking in the void. But what is really fulfilling for me, on top of producing this content, on top of talking about comics, is hearing back from people. So that's in the chat. Love you guys in the chat. That's comments that are made on my videos. Love reading all the comments. And also like the polls, when we do the polls, I love all that kind of stuff. So that interaction, the interactivity of it is just such a great aspect of producing YouTube content. So I was thinking, how can I make those 15-second reviews a little bit more interactive? And one of the things I was thinking was like, I wonder if I can combine that with what I had done before, my Comics Yeah, Comics Nah videos. You guys can watch them. I think I only did 2 or 3 of them way back when, at the beginning of this channel. And they were fun. I just never was able to get a consistent schedule and like workout of like, oh, who am I going to invite this time? And what book are we going to talk about? Like it became too much of a little bit of a whole production. But I'm thinking of doing like a Comics Yeah, Comics Nah 15-second version where I will produce the short and then ask people at the end, what do you think? Comics Yeah, Comics Nah. And then, kind of asking for that engagement, like making it very clear, like, hey, let me know. Do you like the comic? Do you not like the comic after seeing the 15-second review? So anyway, I was just thinking about that this morning and got excited about trying that out. So that's another thing on my plate of possibly moving those 15-second comic reviews in that direction. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I would love to know if you think it will be interesting, if it would, you know, encourage you to engage, because it's really fun to hear what other people say. I can talk to myself about why I like a comic, and when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The dude knows what he's talking about. I agree with Rocky's opinion, but it's a little biased, just a little biased. So anyway, I love hearing other people's opinions. Somebody commented on an old 15-second video I had. It was for the Daniel Warren Johnson series, Wonder Woman Dead Earth. And somebody commented, and they were just like, Wonder Woman is bad news. Like Superman, Batman, and John Constantine, which was random, was like, they need to take her down because she is trouble. And they like listed out why, and like the stories that Wonder Woman was trouble. And I was like, that is an amazing opinion. I love it. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. So yeah, let me know if you think that's a good idea. I really want to try it out. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, and I also got another comic book news, but let me let me catch up more here. Ah, the countdown timer. Yeah, I love how you guys got it pegged. How this? I'm gonna change it all up. I'm gonna reverse the order of stuff. I'm gonna mix it up. Keep you guys on your toes. Mark's Music Obsession says, who is this Sean character? Yes, who is that guy? Time change? No, I prefer my light in the evenings, not mornings. Free comic book day is upon us. It is indeed. Adam, I've never gone in a comic book shop. Sorry, one second here, Adam.
This is Adam. Hey.
Adam says, I've never gone in a comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day. Maybe I should this year. Do it, Adam. And I don't even know. I think you can find out what books are the Free Comic Book Day books. Like you can just Google it, because it's the same across the board based on the shops. What I did find out, and this was actually from Chris, is the shop owners are the ones who choose how many or what quantities of what free comic book that they order, and they pay money for it. So it's not free for them, but it's free advertising and a way to get people into their stores. So that's why they invest money into it. But they'll buy, different quantities based on the local audiences that they're catering to. So, but for the most part, people buy the most popular ones, and then depending on how obscure some of the books that are in the Free Comic Book Day, they'll spend less money to get lower quantities of stuff. I've even been in some stores where they'll limit how many you can get because, they want everybody to get a chance to get a Free Comic Book Day. You don't have the like nerdy collectors like myself go in and like, I mean, I don't do this, but I used to, where you like want to make sure you get every single issue and like, but now I just go in and I'll selectively pick up stuff. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But yeah, it's really fun, Adam. And there's always kind of like this energy in the store because there's more people. It's exciting. It's fun. So I would recommend you go. How you been doing too? Did you read that Wolverine 400? That was something I didn't mention. I think it was 2 weeks ago it came out because I thought of you because it has that Daniel Warren Johnson story in it. And I think you might have commented on one of my videos about it. But it's a great story, but I could not bite the bullet and buy that book. It was like an $8.99 or a $9.99 book just for maybe 6 or 8 pages of Daniel Warren Johnson, which were awesome. I would almost just loved to have that story on its own because I didn't really care for the rest of the book. Timmy Mello says, do it, Adam. Yeah, do it. Jake is here. What's up, Jake? I just noticed your Gorillas figure is in the background. So cool. Just bought Hewlett's Taschen book a month ago. Nice, Jake. Welcome in. Yes, these are fun. I have actually never shown them close up. I can do that. These are really fun. And they were in my storage for a while. Look how cool that figure is. This is Noodle. This is actually a variant version of Noodle not the like, in comic books terms, not the like standard cover. This was the variant edition. I can't remember what it was called. I love the scale of these toys. These are amazing. And Jamie Hewlett is one of the creators of the Gorillaz band. And he's an incredible artist. I do have that Taschen book that you're talking about. I think I might have even shown it on stream before. So yeah, these figures were produced by Kid Robot decades ago, and they're actually kind of hard to find now. And they were in my store. They used to be displayed in my studio in my office. But then when I moved out of that studio and then started working from home predominantly, I didn't have any place to store them. So then they were stored in boxes. But when I started doing the YouTube streams, I was like, I gotta put some nice stuff in the background, like make it look nice. And then I ran across these figures again. I was like, oh, those would look pretty cool back there. So I even toyed with the idea of switching out some of my toys back there. But they just have a great scale to them. I need to find a little bit better lighting to like highlight them. But thanks for noticing, Jake. That's awesome. And that book, that Taschen book is fantastic. Jamie Hewlett is an incredible artist. Do I have it here? I even got one of these. Oh goodness. One of these. Hey? Ah, yes. Oh no. I thought it was. Wait a minute. No. 1, 2, 3. Yes. I showed this before when it came out, which was months ago. But this is a Jamie Hewlett variant cover for Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. I don't know if you've seen this, but I had to get it because it was Jamie Hewlett. Incredible drawing. So there's his signature down there. So yeah, he's awesome. Amazing artist. He started off as a comic book artist in the UK, drawing various comics, but then he was really known for Tank Girl. And then Tank Girl kind of blew up, became a movie. He designed like the animated sequence in that movie. I knew some people that worked on that animated sequence. And then he went on to do Gorillaz, and that just blew up into one of the biggest things ever, not just in art and animation, but in the music scene. And then, he's done a whole bunch of animated music videos. There's an artist he's a friend of mine, and incredible animator by the name of Robert Valley. He's worked on a lot of Gorillaz stuff, and he's got a cool style too. So yeah, I'm in awe of Jamie Hewlett stuff. We just called up Will Wilson, who we got from the Giants. He's a pretty good guy. Will Wilson. Why don't I know that name? Was he from the farm system? I don't remember that name, Timmy Mello. Mango is the most elite fruit, Emo Trash says. God really cooked with It's good. And depending on your taste, mangoes, there's a varying degrees of like, they can be super sweet, they can be more fibrous, they can be more smooth. In Filipino culture, some people like the very green mangoes that are sour. And I actually like those too, the super sour ones. So yeah, mangoes are awesome. Okay, YouTube naming them shorts is just as smart as Apple naming them iPad. Dang it. I really wasn't coughing at all today. And then I start streaming and I stop coughing. So apologies. I'm down to my last 3 cough drops. So hopefully this is less than a 3 cough drop stream. English is hard. I blame England. You do you on the channel, Rocky. We are with you. At least I am. Mark's music. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I'll try. Let's try it out. I'll do some experiments. Just like I was experimenting with editing some clips out of my longer videos and making shorts out of those, which I have some in the pipe coming up. I'll be working on those tomorrow. Some short clips of the master study that just happened on Monday. I've already got those marked out. So yeah, let's try it. Let's mix it up. Let's add. Let's evolve. Mark has all the stream beats clocked, and it's my job to make fun of you as a whole. Nice. Holistically, Emo Trash is there to make fun of me. I have it. I only read the Daniel. There you go, Adam says, which is amazing. And they are actually selling. They might have already done it, but I know they were planning on selling the original art for that because he's going to make bank for that story. Daniel Warren Johnson sells his art. I believe it's an exclusive deal with a company called Felix Comic Art. And go to their website, felixcomicart.com, and they sell a lot of different artists' original pieces. So usually Felix Comic Art will make an announcement like, oh, at 12 a.m. we're going to put up these pages to sale, and then they just sell like hotcakes. So yeah, that story was... I would have been willing to pay a regular comic price just for that story, as opposed to 2 times of a comic price for all the other stuff that I didn't really want. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but yeah. And I don't know if you got the version of that book, the variant cover version of that book that had Daniel Warren Johnson's cover. I didn't see that on the rack, or it might have pushed me over to get it. But it's a great cover that he drew of Wolverine. Emo Trash says, I don't know of any comic book stores in my immediate area unless used bookstores or Barnes & Noble also participate. I don't think they do. There was just this last weekend, I think it was Independent Bookstore Day or something like that. It was last weekend. I don't know if the used bookstores will do free comic book day. It's usually just a comic book store thing, unfortunately. Jake says, I've been trying to get a couple of those figures, but they're pretty pricey on eBay now. I just have to bite the bullet. So Jake, if it was easier, accessible, I also have a different version of those figures that they're not this soft vinyl. They're like harder vinyl, and they're smaller scale, but they were also done by Kid Robot. I would grab them and show you those as well, because those are cool too. I do like this bigger scale better, and it's kind of like chunkier because of the soft vinyl. But yeah, they are a little hard to find, and I kept mine in my box. The boxes that they came with are really awesome too. They're like branded. The only issue with those is, and with anybody that collects anything like toys, where do you store those boxes? they like take up so much space. So yeah, I've got the boxes still for those figures. Definitely one of my favorite books. Nice. Jake says, no way. I'm going to have to look for that comic. For the Batman one, the Gargoyle of Gotham. Batman Gargoyle. Say that 3 times. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. Yeah, that's a variant cover. Jamie Hewlett variant cover. I think so. Sorry, this is such a sidetrack, but it's a fun conversation. Well, that's better from this view. I believe so. Here's like this awesome Batman here. I believe they released a comic that like framed it even closer too. It might have been like a second printing, because I'm pretty sure they reused it like with it cropped like this too. But I love this whole image. It's so wild and like Did he use, it looked like he used like some 3D in there or like a reference image for this statue. It's so cool. It's a really a great image. He needs to draw a Batman book. That would be amazing. Okay. Emo Trash says, I almost sent you a post earlier that was about Batman being in some show. I don't know what, but I like the design. Okay, do it. Yeah, if you can find it again, send it to me. Sour mangoes, may need to find some. They're great. And some people eat them with like salt, like they dip them in salt. It might be a Mexican culture thing too, but I know in Filipino culture they do. They'll like dip it in salt, so it's like this sour, saltish. It's really good. But it's like, if you like soury, salty things. You weren't coughing earlier because you weren't talking. That's true. That's true. I do not talk to anybody but you guys. I'm mute in real life. Is Revenge of a reliable site to buy comics, anyone? Never heard of it. The infamous Hotcakes comics. I buy all my comics from Midtown. Midtown's great. I believe Midtown being one of the most famous comic book stores in America, based in New York. I believe they have an app too. I looked on their app once. I like downloaded and tried it out, and it was a little quirky. But yeah, if you buy your comics online, they're probably a good place to do it with. I do have Dana Ward. There you go. My man. That's the way to do it. Batman really is the Gargoyle of Gotham. It's true. It's true. I didn't know they were still doing Black Label. Black Label. For what? Insult is crazy. It's good. So you get the sour mangoes at Asian markets? You can. Yes, you can. Mostly, predominantly. I can't remember. They're like smaller. They're not as like, big and they tend to be yellowish or greenish as opposed to like red or orange color that the sweeter ones are. And then the mangoes that come from Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines, are very good. Their texture is really nice and smooth. The ones that come from, some of the ones that come from like Mexico tend to be really fibrous. And some people like that, but I don't. I like the ones that the texture is very, very smooth. Am I muted? In real life, I am. Black Label was the Batman cover you were showing off. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Was it Black Label? Oh. You guys are absolutely right. Black Label. That is strange. Oh, you know what? I guess all of the Gargoyle of Gotham books are Black Label. Yeah. Not just that one. Yeah, I guess they're all under Black Label. Huh, I didn't know that either. Good call. Nice. And that Raphael Grampa series, who's the one who's doing Gargoyle of Gotham, is amazing. It's taking a long time for him to come out with each issue. And I think there might be one more issue left. 3 have come out so far. And they also do a noir edition. But it's a great book. It's a really, really good book because of his art. And he's the writing's actually quite good in it. But he's also creating all these new characters that you've never seen before in the Batman world. And they're all awesome. The Batman is Black Label, which is more adult stories. Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, you guys are right. Okay, one more thing that on top of, before we get into the comics, one more thing that I wanted to show you guys was so yeah, I guess I'll do it this way. So when I go to my local store, no, we're not shooting the fat. When I go to my local store, I guess it comes out once a month. You'll get these like free preview magazines. So DC puts out one. This is the DC one. I actually threw away the Marvel one. Is it still in my trash? No, it's not. Marvel put out one. DC puts out one. I believe IDW puts out one. And then some other smaller labels will put out one. So it's just a preview, like what's coming out. And it's always fun to flip through it. I remember when I was younger, they would come out with previews, which was like this thick, almost like phone book digest. And it was like basically all of these compiled in one thing per month. And stores would hand those out to you for free, but they're really thick. And I think you can still get them at some stores, but I haven't looked at one in a long time. So it's fun. It's fun to get. It's always, it's just like any kind of trade magazine to get a chance to see what's coming up. It gets you excited. And then you put in your orders with your comic book store ahead of time once you see it here. So I was just flipping through this. And, it's going over the new Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, all this kind of stuff. So it's cool. You're like, all right, cool. Get it? They're doing some oversized comic. I think that DC is realizing that giant size, oversized version they did for Hush 2 is probably, my guess, has been selling well. They are releasing all of Hush 2 at that giant size. I think the demand was there. They were planning on doing it, but I think the demand is there too. And so yeah, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, you guys are riding off of that oversized feeling, right? Or like the marketing of that oversized thing. I don't know if I would buy an oversized Superman book by Bruno Redondo. I'm not sure, but I'll look at it. So anyway, here's the standard fare. Blah, 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 flipping through it. And then I got to this. This has got me excited. So they are revealing an artist edition line, which is like music to my ears, of the original art of DC's greatest issues and artists of original artboard size. So basically artist edition. All the time I talk about artist edition. Are those thick hardcover books that they scan at original size and then you see it in black and white. Love it. So they're doing an artist edition of DC. They're calling it, giving it another name, DC WIP, I'm assuming work in progress, of All-Star Superman #1, which is one of the coolest versions of Superman to come out in the last, 20 years or so. When did this originally come out? I'm not 100% sure. I only have one. I have all the first issue, the original issues somewhere in my back issue boxes, but this is the only. This is the only compilation, which is volume 2 of it. So it's not the first issues. This is starting at issue 7. So there was 1 through 6 was volume 1, and I don't have it. And volume 2 is 7 through 12. But this is Frank Whiteley's Superman. And for those of you who are tracking, the James Gunn Superman movie supposedly has been influenced by this take on Superman. Some of this take. But Frank Whiteley is an incredible artist. He's so good. Just great artist. And a lot of people are influenced by his stuff. Just hyper detailed, massively strong compositions. His stuff just feels like big and like exciting. Look at that bizarro world. So yeah, they're just releasing, I think, just of issue 1, which is kind of weird. I don't know what they're trying out here. But it's pretty much the same price point as that Batman Hush 2 giant size that I got. It's a $14.99 price point. But they're doing it in black and white, and I don't know, it says the original. It says never before printed inked pages of All-Star Superman. I don't know if it's like scanned like an artist edition would be, where you see like all the corrections and blah, blah, or if it's just black and white. Regardless, I'm getting it. Whenever this is coming out, I'm getting it. But I was like, ooh, say no more. And I think this original piece sold for a lot of money recently. This cover. This was the first cover of the first issue of this All-Star Superman that Frank Quitely worked on. Grant Morrison was the writer. And yeah, I think it sold a lot for a lot of money. Anyway, cool little bit of news there. We'll keep our finger on the pulse of this one and track this one. I'm for sure going to let my local store hey, don't let me. Put this on my pull box because that could be really cool. All right, so that's all some rando comic news to get us started. Hey, where did my face go? Where did my face go? What happened? Hold on one second. And not that it matters, but it disappeared. Let's see. Emo Trash says Rocky's face is gone. That's right. Let me see if I can find it. Adam says I'll have to try and get my hand on those. Fat has all been shot. Bye-bye shooting the fat. Rocky wants IMAX version. That's exactly what those giant size versions feel like. It's like IMAX comics. Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Pooper Man.
How do you say monkey in French?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Superman. He's great. He's like all-time iconic comic character. But just in general, I've never been a huge Superman comic reader. But that Frank Quitely series was amazing. It was really well written, and the artwork was unbelievable in it. So I am a fan of that. Okay, let me see. Where did my head go? It disappeared, and I don't see it. Did I delete it? That's not good. Because how do I get it back? Give me 1 second. I guess you can. That. Okay, so then if I go here. That's weird. I'm trying to think. Maybe I can look at this. No. This. Nope. None of that works. Nope. Here, it's getting busy around here with new things I'm building for this channel. Where's that coming from? And new content I'm trying out. But I'm really excited to get back to what started it all, which is My Wednesday Comics. Why is it playing My Wednesday Comics? Duke #1 came out this week. I was really excited to pick this one up. This ties into the Energon
Sorry,
universe,
guys. I have no idea where that's coming from.
Transformers book that I reviewed in previous episode by Daniel
This is like
Warren
an
Johnson.
old video is
Really
randomly
cool to see
playing.
what Skybound Entertainment and Hasbro are doing to rebuild these worlds and keep them or interconnect them. I also saw that
I'm so lost.
G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero by Larry Hama. This is number.
Okay, that's random. That was totally random.
Run actually.
No, that's still there. It's still hidden in the background. I just muted it. Wow, this is embarrassing. Hang on. No. Sounds like he got rid of his tulips. Mr. Monkey Boys 1969 says. John says Rocky even does sound effects for when he's working out his streaming issues. I do. All right.
I always like the
Okay,
work
so
they
it's
do.
on that scene.
Steve
That's not good.
Skroki is the first one, and a newcomer, Danny Earls.
But why? Why is that?
And finally,
Where is that playing from? Something strange is going on here. Overlays? Something strange. And I don't know if I can get rid of it without it showing up. Welcome to the circus, K-pop. Save us, K-pop. Oh no, and I can't play this as well. See, it's like, so let's get going. Okay, first up, it's on the same audio track as that crazy video that's playing. I really don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, I don't know where the overlays are. All right, I might have to skip sound effects. That sucks. But I really don't know where that video is coming from. What if I make a new scene? Like that. Nope. But you'll see as we flip through the book what I'm talking about. From the get-go, we're in the middle of the military. I don't want to hear myself say that stuff. I need to see myself, not say it. This is a disaster. All right, let me see. I can add a new camera. I can do that. I can make this. Here you go. You guys get to see it live. This is an educational series right here. Camera A. I don't want it to be a circle. Let's make it a square. Let's not make it rounded square. Let's make it square. I can put my head up here and I can shrink it like so. Actually, I don't want a square. Let's do a classic 4x3. Okay, that works. That's sort of fixed. But then check this out. I can add a shadow, but I don't want the shadow to be too strong. And I reduce the distance. See, this is all the magic. You guys are seeing the magic right now. This is bad. This isn't about comics. This is about my failure here of being prepared. I don't know what happened. And that video is still going on. Where is that video coming from? I just don't know where that video is coming from. All scenes, no. It's a mystery, and I have no way of turning it off. It's just randomly playing in the background. Okay, well, hopefully it finishes sometime soon, and then I'll just unmute it when I have to do sound effects. That's annoying. Dang it. Okay. Timmy Mello's back. We can do this, guys. We can do this. It's possible. Oh, and now I've lost my icons at the bottom of my computer. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's possible, though. Are we live? Okay, we're live. Promiscuous Time Travel. What's up, man? Do you think, or lady, sorry, I don't mean to assume you're a man. Do you think this will be the last free comic book data Saturday? Oh, the last free comic books day Saturday, like in general? Or, so they only do it once a year. I don't know if it's going to be in general. Why would it be the last free? I don't think so. It's a really popular day. So, I mean, a popular thing for comic book stores to do. I don't think they'd stop doing that unless you know something I haven't heard of. But I haven't heard that. Rocky will put himself to sleep. I don't need to put myself to sleep. We're being visited by the ghost of Rocky. That's right, emo trash. You are absolutely right. This is how my streams used to be. I thought I got all like experienced and professional. That was back in the old, I only have 40 subscribers days. And now that we're at 532, everybody, 532 subscribers, we don't have those bad things happen. But apparently we do. It's humbling. Very humbling. Inception. I can't do an octagonal shape. I don't want this white border. I can even take that out. Check this out. Magic. I could do it. This is called a squircle, which I could do this tall with the rounded corners. Now I'm going to keep with the 4x3 square. That always is a nice placement there. Without the white border. All right, now I'll have to fix it after I'm not live because this is a disaster. Emo Trash says, good thing I didn't skip this one. It's too much good stuff happening in this one. All right. That's right. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So this is the techno apocalypse they've been warning. That's right. Thanks a lot, Trump. Because it's put on by Diamond. Oh, I don't know. I would hope not. I hope whoever it is that... Yeah, I hope that the other companies that are involved, or the ones that aren't going bankrupt, like Diamond, Penguin, I can't remember what the name of the other distributors are. I hope that they continue it on. I would think they would. I'd be surprised if they got rid of it altogether. It's all about those watch hours now. That's right. I'll give you an update, but again, it's slow on updating. The last data it gives me is from April 25th. So we're at 2711 now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's always like about a week behind, or 5 to 6 days behind on tallying that stuff. And I see it like toggle up and down. I think it's just sifting through. I don't think it's throttling anything. I think it's just sifting through whether or not it's really a watch hour, the data is collecting it, or was it just like, just I feel like the first swath is like it's just grabbing all the data, and then afterwards it kind of the AI methodically goes through and like makes sure, is that a real person? Was somebody really watching it for X amount of hours? All that kind of stuff. Isn't McFarlane trying to buy Diamond? Mark's Music. I heard that rumor. I don't know if he actually put in a bid or not. I didn't track it that close, or haven't been tracking it that closely. That would be kind of amazing. I feel like he would do the same thing that he did with the toy market. And he's such a smart businessman, and he loves comics, right? So I feel like that would be a really cool thing to happen. Now, is that the business model he wants? Does he want to handle distribution and all the headaches that entail? I don't know, but I think he could be the right kind of person to fix it. Okay, let me just check. He came out with still there. Dang it, where is that coming from? I really don't know where that's coming from. There's nothing on any of my layers that are telling me. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait until that video ends, and hopefully it doesn't repeat. Yeah, I think it's a bug because nothing is showing up on my Ecamm dashboard to let me know that that's playing. All right, let's go over the first book of today that I picked up. This is the last issue of G.I.Joe Silent Missions, and they've been releasing one a week, starting with the anniversary of the original Silent Interlude, and I've picked up every issue so far. So this is the last one. This is Silent Missions for Duke, and drawn by Wes Craig, who I've seen his work before. He hasn't worked on any major books that I know of. He might have done like he's never been a regular artist on a major book, so he's a little bit off my radar. I have seen some independent books that he's done, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But he's got this like, it seems like he's kind of influenced by like Mike Mignola, Frank Miller, a little bit. So all kind of great influences to have, and seems like something that would be right up my alley. So I was excited that he was on this last book. I've like I'd mentioned in the previous weeks, I've really enjoyed that they've done this Silent Missions.
they're not all successful in my mind, or they're not all like, oh, that's like amazing. I really did like the first one, which was Beachhead. The second one, Jinx, was okay. The third one, Spirit, was like, not really. Roadblock was a little bit better, but it ended weird with Roadblock and Lady J like making hot cocoa together. It was kind of weird. But the artwork was, that one was fun as far as the artwork was concerned. And then this is the last one, Duke, by Wes Craig. So the premise of these, they're all inspired by the original silent interlude issue that Larry Hama wrote and drew 40 years ago, I think this is the anniversary, the 40-year anniversary. And that was like one of the iconic issues of G.I. Joe with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. So these are kind of inspired by that, meaning they're stories without any dialogue, all visual storytelling. So that's really, it's great, but it's not easy. And I think in varying degrees, the artists that were assigned to each one of these issues had varying degrees of success in that. So Wes Craig he was both the writer and the artist on this. And I think in all of them, no, that might not be right. But it makes sense that the artist in these silent issues would be considered the writer as well, because there's not any dialogue. But I don't think that was how the other issues were. But let's see. Let's take a look at this. That's cool. Yeah, so you can see he has a little bit more of a stylized approach. It's awesome. But I think just based on his other work that I know that he's done, I think he is a good candidate to do something like this. I don't know who this color is. It's Jason Wordy, but really interesting colors for something that's kind of, very like moody, like a silent mission. These are really poppy, vibrant colors. Look, this circle kind of looks like my inset frame for my stream. That's cool, though. It's like standard, or the regular colors here, and then they get shot, and they got these little exclamation marks over their heads, but he colors it all red. That's awesome. Yeah, I like the colors. There's also like this neat, feels like there's this like texture filter he puts on. Maybe it's just like noise, add grain in Photoshop, but it has a textury feel to it. It doesn't feel flat, the coloring, like maybe kind of spray painted a little bit. That's cool. Yeah, I like his storytelling. He's using the size of the panels to set up some pacing. This is cool. This is like just one scene. I love this technique. This is like one drawing, right? But he breaks it up into panels. And not only that, he has different sizes for those panels. So there's like a rhythm to it. They have varying degrees of time that your eye stays on each panel based on the size of it. And they're also revealing more information based on the size of it. Oh, wait. Okay, that's a little confusing. So let's see if I can zoom in here. This, so I thought that this was one, doesn't that look like one image to you? Right? But yeah, that does feel like one image. It feels like these
trees connect over here and this horizon line here. But here is Duke, unless this is a different dude. Here's Duke here, and then he's over here. And then here, unless he's trying to communicate that he like moves around. Huh. That's interesting. All right. We'll see. I haven't, reading closer, I'll have to see if that's what he is communicating. But I don't think so. This is cool, though. Love the color shift, the color change. These are great angles. Bet you're doing like a waterfall, so yeah, a vertical panel will work really well for that. It's great. Yeah, I like the colors a lot on this. It works well with Wes Craig's inky style. So he decided to use like a countdown device as well, similar to the Jinx issue, where there was like a countdown to a bomb. It's cool too. It's neat when you see artists use a full bleed panel, like this panel like goes all the way to the edge of the page, and then here he doesn't. So there's like, what I feel from this is like, oh, the explosion just like is so big that it bursts out off the page, and then there's more like contained moments here. Whoa. Well, that's crazy. That's Cobra Commander's face with, I guess, the reflection of Duke in the reflective helmet. That's crazy. What a crazy image. Yeah, and Wes Craig's style is really loose, which I like. It's just kind of exaggerated in places. Wow, this feels like a long story, even though it's the same amount of pages as the other ones. There's a little bit of cheating there. I guess technically nobody's talking, so it's still silent, but a little cheating there with the writing. It's great. That's cool. I like it. I like this issue. I haven't read it. I mean, I'll have to go back and read it closer just to make sure I'm following the story, but I like it. Flow's nice. Great action sequences in there. Some nice storytelling stuff. Colors are vibrant and interesting. Work well with the pen and ink, or the inky line of Wes Craig stuff. It's cool. And then here is his black and white layouts. It's cool. They should release, just for me, they should release a black and white version of all the issues, like compiled together, black and whites. So like an artist edition of the silent stories in one compilation. That would be really cool. All right, there you go. That's it. That's it for Silent Missions. Finished up here. I like it. I think they ended strong with Duke. Good choice.
Okay, let's see. Diamond just got approved. Promiscuous Time Travel says Diamond just got approved to be sold to Universal, which is a Canadian company, and Ad Populum, which is a toy distributor. Oh, really? Okay. I should follow comics news, like the business of comics news, more than I do. But that's interesting. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that all shake out. As of yesterday, a lot of the YouTuber or the people that I follow on social media to find out what books are coming out each week. Like I follow comic book stores, and they'll post like, "Oh, this is what's coming out tomorrow." A lot of them still, even to this day, and it's been like this for almost a year, have so many delays coming from Diamond. So I can imagine the chaos between for that buyout that's still affecting the distribution. So I can't wait for that to kind of settle down a little bit. John says close all of your other browser tabs. It's not my browser tab. It's something in Ecamm, which is the software I use to stream. I highlighted this book. Still there. It's like I'm hidden in the background. Behind the scenes is old me talking about, I don't even know what book it is. But it's some video that I recorded before when My Wednesday Comics was not a live show and it was just a recorded show. Go back and watch it. But I can hear it playing behind the scenes. So I grabbed it, and I'm super excited to go through both of those with you. I don't know where it is. It's hidden somewhere. Rocky on the audio feed, like, am I talking to me? As I was just speaking about talking into the void, here it is. There's two of me out there. It's probably a 4-hour video. Yes, knowing me, it probably is. Close your browser, you'll leave the stream, restart your browser, rejoin the stream. I'm a little hesitant to do that. I don't know if that works in Ecamm. I feel like if I quit out of Ecamm, it'll end the stream. So I don't want to risk it. It's okay, I can mute. I can mute myself. And then if we need to do sound effects, I'll just unmute really quick and it'll be a mess. To draw or not to draw in the background, here's the question. The answer is always to draw, Emo Trash. Always. Always to draw. Wash your mango hands first, though. That's right. Oh my gosh. If I still had sticky mango hands, I would have been yapping this whole... I wouldn't have been yapping this whole time. That's true. What's what the random red frames are? The random red frame. These? It's like every time they get shot, they go red. Yeah, it's every time there's like... Death is red. Fighting is red. There is a book, I've mentioned this a long time ago, one of the streams, and I think it's called How Pictures Work, something like that. But it was a book I read when I was just starting out as an artist, and I never understood it until much later. I mean, I understood it, but the impact of it really hit me as I got older, because it basically goes through like what makes pictures work, like art, like visuals work, and how our brains work. And one of the things that it describes is we recognize color first over shape. And they gave a few examples, like super simple shapes, like a triangle, a red triangle, and a blue triangle, and like what you see first. And color is one of the very first things, like receptors that our brain identifies. So yeah, in the priority of things, like, can I grab somebody's attention by making this a certain shape or color? It's always color first. So they, when you see stuff like this with the red, it's like danger, danger, death, killing, explosions. Like the red, your eye immediately like gets drawn to that. It's cool though. I like it. It's intense. Jake says, I love how much space is in each frame. Yeah, some of the previous artists that did the other silent missions, I feel like they didn't use their storytelling techniques weren't as tight as Wes Craig's. And I like the things that he's trying to do. Look at this. Look at this even. I guess he was like, this gas, looks like he's like affected by this gas that exploded. That's why he's having this hallucination. And look at the border of this frame. And then he's stabbing himself with some sort of shot to like get him out of the hallucination. And then see how the border of that frame like straightens out. Isn't that cool? Like, I love that kind of stuff because it just shows that the artist is thinking about how they can use the power of comics to tell this story. And it's not just drawing the cool picture. It's not just making the character in this cool action pose. It's like all the thing. When you use all the tools in the tool belt in comics, man, is it powerful. And it can really give you an amazing storytelling experience. So this kind of stuff, like this subtle stuff is is just as impactful for me as the drawings that are inside of it. John says, is this the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover book? No, this is kind of separate from all of that. I don't think this is in the... Well, Skybound is producing it, but I think it's kind of not part of that crossover. At least none of the Silent Mission stories seem like they're crossing over with Transformers at all. I think they're just staying in the normal G.I. Joe world and telling self-contained stories. Sequential storytelling is an art and a science, but it's hard to produce. It really is. It's a lot. When you see something, I mean, it's what makes the top stories that we remember as comic books. The difference between the good ones and the great ones are people that understand sequential storytelling. Art without words, the way art is meant to be. That's right. Indeed, colors are approved. Nice. Sound effects, love it. How many Yo-Joes do you give? Alan, okay. I'm still... Alan, I think you came in stream late, but some random movie of mine is playing in the background. The audio
Very well with.
is still there. So in order to play your sound effect, I have to unmute it. I don't know how to get rid of this video. So I'm going to unmute it, play your sound effect, and then mute it, but you probably won't even hear it.
Is respected, and the canon is consistent. I'm a computer. And the tone is...
So welcome, Alan Lau. How many Yo-Joes? At a scale of 1 to 5 Yo-Joes, I'll give this a 4.5. Yo-Joes. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. The ghost of Rocky's Wednesday Pass does not escape so easily. You think we'll leave you if you have to restart your stream? I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, it's okay. We can survive. We can survive, John. It'll be all right. I don't think this video will go on forever.
And he talks about how he was never a fan of G.I. Joe, and yet he was a military brat. And
Oh my gosh, it might go on forever. That's an old video of mine. I don't even know which one it is, but it's old. Call Dr. Bombay. Yo, Rocky fellows and ladies, Cranberry Langers. All right, unmuting the crazy random.
now I could actually read it. And
This is a cranberry,
starts off with
full
that
of
image.
power.
This is the weirdest thing. What's up, Cranberry? Cool pages in that book, Cranberry says. I love Skybound Ultra Mega. That is so damn good. I picked up not the current run on Ultra Mega, but I picked up the earlier one. The very first time Ultra Mega came out, the James Herron book. And it's good. He's a great artist. I didn't totally connect with the story. And I'm not a big, I never grew up with Ultraman. I know Alan Lau did. I was never a huge Ultraman fan. So, or Kaiju fan. I mean, I'd like Kaiju as anybody does. But it's not like today, one of the books that came out, I didn't pick it up. I almost did, was Godzilla. They're doing this whole Godzilla versus certain characters in the Marvel universe. I have no idea why. and they had Godzilla versus Spider-Man, and it actually looked kind of cool. The artwork was by a guy named Nick Bradshaw. He's a good artist, but my only beef with Nick Bradshaw's work is it's pretty much an ape of Arthur Adams' work, and I am the biggest Arthur Adams fan. So for me to like buy Nick Bradshaw's work, I'm just like, it feels like I'm betraying Arthur Adams a little bit, you know? So that's kind of unfortunate. And I don't know, but I mean, he's successful. Nick Bradshaw, he's done a few books, and he's definitely done like a bunch of covers. And then this was the first time I've seen a recent book that he did. So I almost picked it up. But if I was a bigger fan of Godzilla, and again, Alan Lau is, if I was a bigger fan of Godzilla and I wasn't a little bit like hesitant with the whole Arthur Adams, Nick Bradshaw thing, I probably would have picked it up because it looked like a fun book, but I didn't. All right, here's the second book I'm picking up. Cranberry Langer says Ultraman is the better version of the Power Rangers. Yeah. I mean, they're related for sure. I think they're really different though, right? Ultraman's pretty different from Power Rangers. Cranberry says, cool cover on the G.I. Joe book. Yeah, it was awesome. But, going back to this Promiscuous Time Travel, Skybound, they're killing it, man. They're making some great choices. And what they're doing, in my opinion, what they're doing with Transformers and G.I. Joe has made it super fun to just kind of dive back into those series and become a fan again and just reminisce and also see where they're going. Like, they're putting together some awesome teams to move those IP forward. I've seen Transformers and G.I. Joe like so many different creative teams in the past, but I feel like Skybound, like they just hit that like nostalgia and like fresh new take, the balance of that really well. You're not dating or married to Arthur Adams. You're not. I'm not, but I don't know. It's just, there's another artist. I don't want to poo-poo on any artist. It's so hard to do this stuff, guys. And I don't like criticizing other artists, especially since I'm not a professional comic book artist myself. But there is another artist. We'll go over when I get to it. I'll talk about it when we get to it. So yeah, it's kind of in the same line of this like Nick Bradshaw, Arthur Adams thing. Hi everyone, I do love me some Ultraman and Godzilla. Yeah, Alan Law does. He's had some great Godzilla toys too, I remember. Speaking of toys, one's a team, the other's a solo guy with different abilities. Yeah, not Ultraman, I'm thinking of another dude. 1 minute. Okay. This is the next issue that I picked up here is Batman The Long Halloween, the last Halloween. Number 7 of 10. We are almost at the end of this series, and this has been great. It's been a really similar to G.I. Joe Silent Missions. They put a different person on each book, but they're all kind of under this umbrella of, in this particular case, this umbrella of Jeff Loeb and the original artist Tim Sale, their story of The Long Halloween. So this is kind of like the next chapter in that story. Unfortunately, Tim Sale passed away, so they were never able to complete it. So they decided to ask all these different artists to kind of be like in memory of Tim Sale, to do their own take of every chapter. So there's 10 issues, and each issue has a different artist on it. And I've just enjoyed it. I think each issue it's been fun to kind of see their take on Batman The Long Halloween. Also like trying to pay homage to what Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb built within the Long Halloween story. Yeah, it's been great. All the artists that they've asked to be a part of this have been really good and have given great renditions. So this artist is Dave Johnson. Dave Johnson's awesome. He's we looked at something that he did a long time ago in the 90s, 2000s. I don't know if you guys remember Super Patriot. We looked at this a couple streams ago. This is an old issue. Super Patriot is a creation of Eric Larson, the creator of Savage Dragon, but he enlisted Dave Johnson to be the artist on it. And ever since this, like, Dave Johnson's more known for being a cover artist, and he's a great cover artist. Does some awesome cover art. So he rarely, or I don't see that often of him doing sequential stories anymore. I think he just kind of makes his living on being a great cover artist. So it was really awesome that they hired him to be the sequential artist on this, because his Super Patriot stuff was awesome. He's a good drawer. Just can draw. It's great. Guess Batman and Robin are just kind of sparring in the Batcave. This definitely has a little bit more of a sketchy feel for Dave Johnson's stuff than I'm normally used to. Normally his stuff is like more graphic shadows. So it's kind of cool. He's doing this like sketchier. I guess his style evolved a little bit. So like the stuff that the cool thing is about all these Long Halloween, Last Halloween books is Dave Stewart is the colorist for all of them. So even though they're different artists, they get Dave Stewart to color each book. So there is a sense of cohesion between issues. On top of Dave Stewart was also the colorist on the original. Pretty sure he was the colorist on the original Long Halloween. So he's kind of carrying that through. That's cool. Great faces. Super solid figures too. Look at that bend in Catwoman's back. It's awesome. I mean, he's not drawing any backgrounds here. He's just drawing the figures, like beating the snot out of them. It's so fun. Ugh. Oh, I see. It's some sort of like mind control thing that Poison Ivy put on her back. Well, they did this. Speaking of the coloring, kind of being the same colorist on all the issues. I think in the last issue of this book, they did something similar where it was just black and white, and then the gunshots were red. So going back to that red color. That's the first thing when I turn that page is like red, bang, bang. That's what you want to look at. His faces, his figures are all awesome. Here's like that more of that sketchiness in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's great. It's cool. Ah, tying it to Mother's Day. Some process stuff. Always fun to see. I don't think he even drew Two-Face. Did you guys see Two-Face? I don't see Two-Face. It's all Catwoman and Poison Ivy. Cool. Another solid issue. Batman Long Halloween. Last Halloween number 7. 3 more issues to go. Great series. If you like Long Halloween. Promiscuous Time Traveler says, my favorite recommendation to give from Skybound is Assassination. I've never read that. It's about the power of friendship. I've never read that. I've seen it on the rack, but I've never read that. And that came out a while ago, right? So, okay, cool. Thanks for the rec. I will definitely check it out when I can find it. Long Halloween, that's right. Oh, hey, it's Batman. Have you ever seen the animated version of Long Halloween? No, I haven't. I will have to watch that. I do have, what do you call it? Like HBO Max or whatever, which has all the DC animated stuff in their catalog. So I'll check it out. I don't think, you might know Alan Lau, but I don't think they did it in this style, in Tim Sale's style. I think they just did it in their standard DC animated Batman story style. And it would have been kind of cool to see it done in this more exaggerated, brush inky Tim Sale style. I would have dug that, like if it was more stylized like that. But I believe they just kind of defaulted to their DC animated style and just told the same story. Saban's Masked Rider. He was the better version of the Power Rangers. Oh, yes, I remember him. Didn't he have a motorcycle? Yeah, he was cool. Green Giant's daughter. It does look like Green Giant's daughter. Figures beating the snot out of each other is always more important than the background. True. I like the art in the Bat book. Nice. Yeah, nice colors. That back drawing was cool. Oh, the back drawing of Catwoman? Yeah. I mean, Dave Johnson, man. He's studying the figure. Yeah, there's something great about the he's indicating like that bend, that tension point. I mean, she's wearing a skin tight suit, but like he put a few folds there, so you really feel the pinch. And but there's like a deep inset in her the curvature and the spine. It's great. It's just like there's a lot of tension there. It's awesome. Yeah, I love these faces. These, I mean, it feels a little bit more realistic than I'm used to with Dave Johnson's work. His work was a lot more stylized, at least on the Super Patriot stuff, which was 20 years ago. But it definitely feels more realistic. It's cool. I like it. Alrighty. The animated 2-part movie series is very good for Long Halloween. Okay, cool. I will check that out as well. I've been meaning, there's so many DC animated movies that I have not seen. And I think part of my hesitation is so much of the Long Halloween, when I think of Long Halloween, I think of Tim Sale's style, like immediately. So when I see something labeled as Long Halloween, but it doesn't look like that, I'm like, and granted, it would be way harder to do it in this style, but it's just so baked in my mind. So to take that out of it almost takes a chunk of the heart of the story out of it for me. But I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it because I know they do those DC animated movies are quite good. The production quality of those are excellent. Okay, we already did that. Saw Super Patriot. Okay, this one was a cool one. I only found it. I went to 2 stores today. Only found it on one because it's a little bit off the beaten path. But I saw it bubbling up on social media, and even the sites that I get my weekly comic news from, the ones that say this is what's coming out, like the comic book stores, not all of them talked about this book either. So it just gave me the impression that like it's not a widely distributed book that I know of, but it looks pretty cool, especially the artwork does. So this is a book called Planet Death, produced by a company called Bad Idea, which is, I'm assuming, a new comic book company. I've never heard of Bad Idea before. Which I don't think that's the greatest name for a company either. I mean, I get it's like ironic, it's kind of funny, but if you name your company Bad Idea, you don't give yourself any margin for error. Because if you screw up, people are going to go, well, it's a bad idea. You know what I mean? That's like calling your company like Failure Comics or yeah, so I don't know about that name, but hopefully all of their books turn out to be incredible and we don't have to talk about this. But yeah, so company's called Bad Idea. The book's called Planet Death. This is an issue 0. So I'm assuming it's like a preview issue. It's fewer pages and it was cheap. It's $1.99. So that's cool. But the reason why it's $1.99 is it's print on this very, very cheap paper, almost newsprint-ish. Even the cover is on the same paper, so there's no difference between the cover and the inside pages at all. So it's really kind of flimsy and newsprint favor, like feels like old comic book paper, but like a recycled paper stock or something, like pretty crappy. And I can only imagine that affects the colors. Like these colors look pretty cool, but I'm pretty sure that they like dulls them out a little bit. So as I was checking out, I was asking one of the store owners, I was like, what's the deal with this? Like, do you know why they decided to go this route for this first issue? And he was like, I think they're just trying to save money on printing costs just to get the word out. In which case it almost feels like this should be just like a giveaway or something. I don't know. Like it feels like a giveaway. It feels like an ash can or something that you would get at a store. But at least it was only $1.99. I don't know. But I was willing to pick it up because the artwork, from what I had seen of the artwork, was pretty impressive. So let's flip through this here. The writers are Derek Kolstad and Robert Vendetti, who I have heard of them. I'm not 100% familiar with their work, but I have heard of them. I kind of feel like maybe how I heard about this was like crowdfunding. They might have done some sort of crowdfunding thing. I'm not sure. After the stream, I'll probably research it closer. The artist is Tomas Giorello, who is quite good. And then the color artist is, well, Dave Stewart. Same color artist from Batman Long Halloween. So professional, established, one of the best comic book colorists out there right now. Tom Napolitano's the letterer. His name sounds very familiar. Rico Renzi. I recognize that name. And then they have a gatefold wraparound cover by Joe Quesada. So there's some heavy hitters here. Jim Rugg. They definitely have connections to the comic book industry. But I don't know much about this CEO. So I'll have to look it up. Maybe some of you guys in the chat know more about this than I do. But it's pretty impressive. Like, that's awesome. That's a cool drawing right there. The coloring is great. It's giving me a little bit of like Travis Charest vibes. This is great. Great colors. Dang, Dave Stewart. I'm guessing that the artist uses ink wash tones in his work and then Dave colors over those tones because there's a lot of like depth and dimension to the artwork. That's cool. Super cool. This is awesome. Wow. All right, I'm sold. Sci-fi soldiers, I'm in. But again, the choice of printing this on crappy paper, I'm really curious why they did that. Like if they just printed this on regular paper and charged the normal cover price, $3.99, $4.99, I think they would have done okay because the artwork's great, It's awesome. Definitely giving me Travis Charest vibes. Dare I say, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969, somewhat bande dessinée vibes. The only positive I can say about this paper is
there's no bad reflections from my lights because it's not glossy by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very cheapo newsprinty kind of quality to it. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's see. Jake says I was talking about the pumpkin, but nice spine as well. Oh, I just went back to that. The back, you were talking about literally the back drawing. And I just went back to Catwoman's back. I'm going to pick this over the pumpkin. I'm just saying. That's amazing. Yeah, he had a motorcycle. Awesome. Cool cover. Cranberry Langer says Warhammer. It does feel like Warhammer a little bit. That world. Rocky, that is a 10 out of 10 company name. Emotrash says Bad Idea Corp started in 2019. Okay. They print a lot of Phantom like that. Phantom. What's up, Michael Bancroft? Wait, let me... Reader. I'm still talking in the background. Long story short, Bancroft. I'm going to play your sound effect, and you're going to hear me talking in the background. It's weird. First beginning part is the unnamed knife where that's a Junkyard Joe. What's up, Bancroft? I'm having some technical difficulties, and that's why. But thank you for coming. They print a lot of Phantom like that. Like, are you talking about Phantom, like the series, The Phantom? Bad Company must have been taken. Kind of reminds me of Planet Doom from the movie Ready Player One. Oh, I don't think it's related. Planet, Doom, Death, all the same. Planet, Death. Copyright Cincinnati Kid LLC. So maybe it's the company's in Cincinnati. Yeah. Bad Idea Corp. Don't Stop Believing. Awesome one. Oh, shoot. Here we go. He starts off awesome. During getting bonus talk over by me. How are you doing, awesome one? Your face prints a lot of Phantom like that. Oh, gosh. Great first page. Colors look gorgeous. Bank off regular time or an hour later with your time shift for art share. Mark's asking. Bad Idea is an independent comics book publisher that was founded by Dinesh Shamdasani, Warren Simons, and Hunter Goranson in late 2019. All three had previously worked together. Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you, Cranberry Langers. They came from Valiant. All right. Interesting. 2011 to 2017. Holy moly, this book looks gorgeous. Yes. Mark likes the book. Nice. Classic Confused Rocky. Absolutely. I like the Batman and Pumpkin over Catwoman's back. You do? Lost respect for you. He's also having physical difficulties. An hour later, Michael Bancroft's art share will be an hour later. Timmy is from Cincinnati. That's right. Maybe Timmy knows these guys. Everybody's saying hello to hello to... This is some sort of stream, guys. Hello, awesome one. Everybody's saying hello to awesome one. Oh, dang. All right, let's keep going before I get in trouble here. It's cool. Yeah, really great. The colors are outstanding. Outstanding. I just kind of wish I saw it on better paper. So I'm hoping that the book, if this is just a preview, I'm hoping that the book is not published on That Is Awesome, this paper. I would love to see this in black and white too. Like what artwork have I seen that I wouldn't like to see in black and white? Huh? That's just my thing. That's great. Great double pager. Yeah, this guy must be looking at Travis's stuff or bande dessinée or whatever. Very Euro feel to the work. Dang, it's good. Yeah, just the level of this artwork deserves better printing. I have no idea why they chose to do that. Maybe they weren't sure it was going to sell well. Okay, let me read this because they're making some bold statements here. They say the book you hold in your hand. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see it too. The book you hold in your hand might just be the most important one we ever published. Not just because it's the first comic to reach every comic book store, milestone made possible by incredible distribution partners at Lunar. Oh, that was the other one, Lunar. Diamond UK and Universal, not merely because it shattered records, become the best-selling independent comic of the past 30 years. No kidding. Over 655,000 copies ordered at the time. Okay, this must have... Yes. Oh. So the writer, Derek Kolstad, is behind John Wick series. And then Robert Vendetti is from Exo Man of War. Okay, that makes sense. Blah, blah, blah. Most successful publishing launch decades when Valiant... okay. They must have crowdfunded this. Okay, skip ahead. They're talking about the writers. And then there's artist Tomas Giorello, a virtuoso at the peak of his powers. His art doesn't even just tell the story. It rears, it breathes, it bleeds. Every page, a masterclass in visual storytelling. Okay, slow down, buddy. Every panel a world unto itself. He's not just drawing this book. He's pouring himself into it. And then the colorist. Yeah. Dave Stewart's amazing. Talk about the magician and letterer. So we went back into the scripts just this week, the week we're sending the book to printer. Oh, okay, here. They say something about this. Speaking of our printing partners, take a moment and feel the paper this comic is printed on. They don't make this anymore. This isn't just paper, it's history. Took over a year to source it, months to negotiate it for it. At the end, we had to buy the entire remaining supply of it just to make sure we could bring you a wonderful old school OG Comics newsprint. The kind of paper that built comics. Okay, guys, the kind of paper that built comics, we didn't choose it for nostalgia. We chose it because it matters, because this story belongs on this paper, because Planet Death isn't just a new comic, it's a declaration of love for the medium itself. I don't know if I found that. What you're holding, issue 0, is just the beginning, just the appetizer. The main course hit shelves on July 9th in a fully loaded prestige format. All right. Okay. Well, you got my attention. And a lot of that has to do with just the art. It's just kicking all sorts of butt. It's excellent, exciting. But I'm not 100% sure about the printing process. If you were going to do that with the paper inside, at least put like a killer cover stock on it or something. Like do the Ghost Machine move where they have a very nice cover stock. And their inside is, their insides are actually better quality paper. But part of the reason we moved away from that nostalgic paper, guys, is because it would yellow and it didn't reproduce colors as good as paper does now. And this story does not feel very nostalgic, so that was an interesting choice. But all that being said, this looks awesome. They've got my attention. I will for sure be picking up the issues as they come out. If it stays like this, I'm definitely getting it because it looks cool. Looks super cool. All right. Awesome. Timmy Miller's from Cleveland, actually. Oh, yeah, Cleveland. Not Cincinnati. It's different.
I find the Batman and Pumpkin more aesthetically pleasing. Freudian slip, Rocky. Talking about Catwoman's back. Purple People Eater Convention. Yeah, it's just Catwoman's back unless you're talking about appreciating it more for the aesthetic reasons. No comment. More important than Scrooge McDuck's comics. This comic single-handedly ended the war in Ukraine. It's a little bit like that. The commentary is a little bit like that. It's like, okay, calm down here. Like, I get it. You guys are pouring your heart and soul. I appreciate it. I love it. But Exo Manowar I got very slightly into, but his costume pretty much turned me off. The concept was pretty interesting. I agree. Yeah, for something like, I mean, the only version of Exo Manowar that I was really, well, not only version. I love Joe Quesada's version. I looked through that issue on stream, and I'm waiting. They're supposed to do an artist edition of that, of the Exo Manowar. I don't know if it was 0 or number 1 that Joe Quesada drew. Can't wait for that. Then Bart Sears drew a version of Exo Manowar, which was kind of cool. But I never really got into the story of it, so I wasn't an avid collector of it. Wow, how Trump-like it should win the Nobel Prize. What's up, Comrade Sammy? Okay, Comrade Sammy. This is weird, but I got to do it. Devour, but it wasn't clear because it had the same artist. Kind of blended. That may or may not be my voice hidden there in the background. Comrade Sammy has a few minutes. Good. She's, I'm just getting the feeling that turtles are more important than we are, Comrade Sammy, these days. Awesome One says, loved Exo, but rarely had it on the spinner or shelves. The ninja is here. Awesome One in response. Cranberry Landers in response. Diesel, what's up, Diesel? Long time no see. Diesel put up with this for a second, but we got to do it because it's Diesel. Transformers versus G.I.Joe quintessential. Good thing Diesel's sound effect is way louder than me talking in the background. Diesel says, what's up, everyone? Been a while, been so busy working. Well, that's good, man. Work away. Good seeing you, though. It's always fun to have you in the chat. Everybody's saying hello to Diesel. This comic is a bad idea. It is. It is literally from Bad Idea. Diesel says, what's up? Cranberry, Mark, what up? Miss you guys. That's awesome. Comrade Sammy, Rocky, just in case you don't remember me, that you're famous. I'm Comrade Sammy. Whatever. Okay, let's see. Never heard of you, Sammy. You guys think Rocky will get to me before I have to leave? Yes. Careful there, Awesome One. What are we talking about here? Awesome One lies. The more updated version of Exo Manowar. I got you. I only have another 20 minutes myself. Okay, you guys, all these time limits. First you tell me you need to stream more, and then I get all these time limits. Gothix is pregnant, not you, Sammy. Oh, no kidding. Congratulations to her. He got to my chats. Little Bird says hi. Love it. All right, cool. What's up, Little Bird? Louie. Okay, so that was Planet Death 0. All right, remember last time there was these 3 books that I pulled out and we didn't get to them. I ran out of time, but these were different Gen 13 books that I saw in the back issue box. They all happen to be Gen 13. I all got them at the same time, all drawn by different artists and all number 1s. And it was just such an awesome snapshot of the 2000s, early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, of just the artwork that was out there, the characters that were out there. Really fun time to be into comics. And it was really where I was so much invested and excited about comics at the time, like where a lot of my love for comics came from. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of flip through these again. And today when I was at the store, I went through that same back issue box and found another Gen 13 book. So I'm going to add this to the pile to look to. And this is actually drawn by J. Scott Campbell, who is one of the creators of Gen 13. So I don't know. This is issue 13C. I don't even remember this issue at all. But it's awesome because it's J. Scott. So yeah, this will be fun. So the first one we'll look at is this one, Gen 13 Wired. I had never seen this book before. The cool thing about this book is it's drawn by an artist named Richard Bennett. And Richard Bennett now, I believe he had a short stint in comics, and then he went on to become like a storyboard artist for like huge blockbuster movies, and he still is. You can follow him on, you can search him on Instagram and find his work there. And it's kind of a shame. I mean, as great of a storyboardy artist as he is, and he works on big movies like Marvel movies, and I think he worked on like Godzilla and King Kong, like just huge action blockbuster movies. It's a shame that he went to storyboarding, not because he's not a good storyboard artist, but it's a shame because he's not doing comics anymore. And he was an awesome comic book artist. He has this super, like very detailed, highly rendered style. And you can tell he was like taking what Jim Lee and all those like Wildstorm guys and just kind of amping it up with the level of detail he put into it. Probably why he stopped doing comics, because if I'm guessing, he probably wasn't the fastest artist based on his artwork. Like he must have spent a lot of time on this stuff. But like, look at his cross-hatching. The cross-hatching is amazing. This is just a one-shot book. So this was not a series. It was just a one-shot called Gen 13 Wired. He also worked on a series called Brass, and that was like mechs. It was in the Wildstorm world, but they were kind of like people in mech suits. So there was all these like robotics and like robot parts and costumes and like really highly technical stuff, wires and gears and everything. And it just looked awesome. And actually I saw on Shelby's stream, he did a review on Brass #1, the book by Richard Bennett, but it's like an oversized book, black and white, and his artwork, you can see his artwork up close. So I'm on the hunt to try and find that book. It's really hard to find, but it's cool. So yeah, check out Brass if you're interested in this kind of artwork. But it's really jam-packed with insane amount of detail and tech, which is really cool. I can't make any sense of like his panel layouts. It's just like drawing cool poses and just rendering the snot out of them. But like, look at the detail on like this face. Just make sure you can see the detail in this face. Yeah. It's awesome. Character Lynch, which is one of the main characters. This really awkward pose. He must have been referencing it, but it's awesome. He's just doing the image thing, but in his style. His artwork also reminds me of Aaron Weisenfeld a little bit. Look at this cool face here. And then this is bananas. I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't even know how he did this technique. Either it was using the coloring to do the shading, but it looks like almost sculptural.
But like with Zipatone, it's got to be digital. I don't know. It's crazy. But like he's the kind of artist that like renders every hair, every wire, heavily cross-hatched. I think he's doing his own inking too. Yep. Yeah, did his own inking. So pretty intense amount of line work in this art. And I think Brass is very much like this. These similar, like, in-your-face, super dynamic character poses. Lots of tech surrounding him. Lethal Weapon 4. Dang. That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like he was influenced by European comics and manga also. This kind of Zipatone treatment here. It's got a cool feel to it. And the tech is a very like Japanese manga influence. I had never heard of this book before, so it's kind of cool to stumble at. Look at this gun. My gosh. It's kind of cool to stumble upon it in the dollar bin. Because it's not like I would know that this even existed if I didn't just run across it. That's what I love so much about dollar bins. You never know what you're going to find. And they're $1. Most of them are. Look at this is intense cross-hatching here. I don't even know if that'll show up properly on camera. So yeah, it just feels like it's like Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell's characters on steroids with rendering. Gen 13 Wired, but it is a one and done issue. The end. Yeah, so I don't think they ever did anything more. There we go. Gen 13 Wired. Granny ain't pregnant. She's in comiformia. Oh, okay. That was a rumor started. Did she fall off the wagon, emo? Okay, Comrade Sammy leaving. Goodbye, Comrade Sammy. See you later. Thanks for coming. Nice. Gen 13, that and Backlash were cool. Yeah, Backlash was cool. That was Brett Booth's character. It's kind of a cool character. He made another character that almost looked just like Backlash. I can't remember what his name was. It's at that point, like, it was almost like iteration over iteration of the Wildstorm universe. And it's all started blending into each other. And the stories weren't that great. I can't imagine the story of this being that good either. But the artwork is stunning. So I love it. Cranberry Landers hated the Authority. Really? Oh, the Authority. This is Planetary. The Authority. What did I just pick up that was the Authority? Oh, this one. I picked this up from the library. I haven't read it yet. Speaking of the Authority, Superman and the Authority. That's with Midnighter and all those other characters. I'm not that familiar with the Authority. The artwork looked kind of interesting in this to me. Yeah, I have Michael Jeenan. This was their attempt of like, after Wildstorm was bought by DC, one of the many attempts to like merge the universes. Varying degrees of success. But I was just curious about this book because I thought the artwork was kind of cool.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm not a huge, I don't have a huge knowledge base on The Authority. I never really read that book. Yes, cross-hatching. Lots and lots of cross-hatching. Love these fantastic art with bad proportions art. It's fun. This looks like a character I made. He could travel the world via electronics. Nice. I might be thinking of Scud, but the robots remind me of that comic. Scud, I have Scud. Maybe I'll pull that out later. It's supposed to become a show on Prime, Authority is. Really? Like a live action show? Oh, that would be interesting. I completely have not tons and tons of experience wasting hours and hours on Pinterest emo trash. No experience whatsoever. Oh, because emo trash is on Pinterest. I can't stand Pinterest. I think its interface is really annoying. All right, so here's the second Gen 13 book. Gen 13 and Monkeyman O'Brien. We talked about Arthur Adams earlier in the stream. Arthur Adams is one of the greatest comic book artists, in my opinion. And Monkeyman and O'Brien is his creation. So it's this character. I mean, they're not normally dressed like this, but this character and this character. This is Monkeyman, this is O'Brien, and then this is Gen 13. So this was a crossover. Inks by Sandra Hope. She's a longtime inker in the Wildstorm circles. And she's still inking to this day. It's like she posts quite a bit on like Instagram and somewhere else, maybe X. But yeah, she posts videos of her inking like Jim Lee or David Finch. Like she's great. There's Lynch again. It's classic San Francisco, classic Arthur Adams style, like kind of his newer, more current style than before, but still cool. And it's cool because J. Scott Campbell for sure was influenced by Arthur Adams when he started as an artist. So it's kind of cool to see your own hero or your influence drawing your characters and mixing up with his characters. Look at that. It's so cool. I loved Monkeyman and O'Brien. At least in this book, compared to the one we just looked at, you can kind of tell what's going on. The other one was just everything in the kitchen sink thrown in there. Arthur Adams is the master of like faces and expressions, cartooniness, but just there's so much cool factor in his drawings. I think this is a self-portrait right here. Kind of looks like that. It's great. Great double pager. Just trying to see who drew the colors here. Laura DePay with okay. The way they write Grunge, this character Grunge, he's such a like adolescent boy. It's hilarious. He was always saying things that like adolescent boys that read superhero comics would probably be saying. Gotta bring the cheesecake. That's what Arthur Adams does, and J. Scott Campbell. Lots of cheesecake.
Oh, look at this Travis Charest drawing. It's awesome. This is before, this was right where he was starting to like break out to become the superstar that he was. I don't know how many issues of this there were, but it's more than one. There you go. Gen 13 Monkeyman and O'Brien. Fun stuff. Was Arthur Adams the writer too? Yep, he wrote the script too. It's cool. Anytime you can get Arthur Adams to draw your book, that's a good time. All right, let's get to this one. Oof, I love this one. Gen 13 Ordinary Heroes. This is drawn by Adam Hughes, inked by Mark Farmer, and I think Adam Hughes wrote it as well. Yep. Mark Farmer's the inker on this. I mean, what more is there you can say about Adam Hughes? Adam Hughes is one of the greatest artists of females in comics, modern day artists of females in comics. He's very well known for his covers of Wonder Woman, Catwoman. He was into sequential art for a long time, or was doing sequentials for a long time, but he really just became the legend that he is because of the cover work that he does. So this is a rare book that he wrote and drew the insides. Amazing. So Adam Hughes also worked at Gaijin Studios in the same studio that Brian Stelfreeze, Jason Pearson, who I've mentioned multiple times on my stream. Dave Johnson had some ties to Gaijin as well. Cully Hamner, Carl Story, a lot of these guys, they were based in Atlanta and they had their own studio there. And they just approached comic art totally different. Kind of, they were just talking about storytelling. These guys were master storytellers. And they used reference a lot, but they like exaggerated the reference and didn't just copy reference. And Adam Hughes, he just has so much appeal and character in his drawings. Beautiful drawings. The guy's just an amazing artist. He also had a lot of humor. It's really funny the way that he wrote. So I was talking. So earlier I was mentioning the whole Nick Bradshaw, Arthur Adams thing. There's an artist that is a working artist right now who, when he first started, I felt like he was just aping Adam Hughes a lot. And it's the artist is Terry Dodson. And he's a great artist, but a lot of his faces and just the way he drew people and characters were very similar to what Adam Hughes did. Like he would always capture like this Adam Hughes face. And it would bother me because I'm like, dude, that's like totally Adam Hughes. Like Adam Hughes draws like that. But he's been working for a long time in comics, Terry Dodson has, and he's produced a lot of great stuff. But I can't help but in the back of my mind not totally be drawn to his work just because I know that a lot of it comes from, stuff that Adam Hughes was doing. So similarly, like not picking up the Godzilla versus Spider-Man book because of Nick Bradshaw's art. It's kind of how I feel about Terry Dodson's art, to be honest. Look at this face. My gosh. There is so much appeal. Adam Hughes was really influenced by the artist Alphonse Mucha too, an Art Nouveau master. And you can see that in that face. Holy cow. And he is one of those artists that each one of the faces were so distinct. They had a lot of personality, a lot of ethnicity, whatever. He could capture it. It wasn't just a stock face, right? Like, it's beautiful, beautiful face. Jeez. It's great. It's referencing like Clint Eastwood in that face. This is a classic Adam Hughes humor right here. Grunge is like making fart noises underneath his armpit. Such a punk. I love the way Adam Hughes drew hair. Man, it's so good. Like these kind of expressions, so hard to do. So much emotion. Yeah, this was a 2-issue series, if I'm not mistaken. Great. I love, too, the physique he gave Fairchild, or her name's Caitlin, because her power, like, when she got infected by or her genetics kicked in as the team was formed, her body like grew larger. She got muscular, like got like superhero body, but it wasn't like a typical female superhero. At least not the way that Adam Hughes portrayed her. Like she's got a bodybuilder build because she's like super strong and like tough. So it's kind of cool how he distinguished it. He didn't just make it all cheesecake. Like he made her like functionally a superhero. And I know that Hughes was influenced by Kevin Nolan as far as his lettering too. He would do these hand-drawn letters. It's awesome. For the sound effects. So cool. It's like a blast from the past. I actually didn't really like the colors on this book. I felt like they were a little bit muddy, a little bit dark. But the artwork's awesome. I love this cover. Like, look how much personality their faces have. That perspective is not easy to draw either. And Adam Hughes has that his very classic signature, the ah signature. Right there. That's Adam Hughes. Cool. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. I'm way behind here. Tim Miller says, I go to Pinterest for ideas and figure references. That's cool. I just can never navigate through Pinterest that well. It's better than trying to search Google. Really? Arthur Adams is great with faces, hair, bodies, and animals. He's really good with... Arthur Adams loves monsters, too. And he loves apes. So I think that's why he created Monkeyman O'Brien, just so he could draw an ape all the time. And he's so good at drawing apes. They even did this one... there was like a crossover event where they made all the characters, I think it was a DC crossover event, where they made all the characters apes for whatever reason. I don't even know what the plot was, but I think he drew a bunch of those covers just because he's such a good ape artist. He loves kaiju, he loves Godzilla. And again,
seeing Nick Bradshaw draw Godzilla, but Arthur Adams was always the Godzilla guy. It's just like, it's really dicey for me. This must be when it became a chick mag instead of Adventures for Boys with eye candy. Maybe. Jeffrey Beats, how you doing, Jeffrey Beats? Oh, I stopped talking in the background. Thank goodness. It's done. That movie finished. So now we can do sound effects like normal people.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
Good seeing you, Jeffrey Beats. Good day, chat. Greetings from the land down under, the lands of the Turrbal tribe and the Jagera people. The lands of the Turrbal tribe and the Jagera people. That's awesome. How you doing, Jeffrey Beats? Adam Hughes is truly fantastic. He's great. He is amazing. I actually have some... I should pull out the original issue. I got it from Shanth. One of these streams, I'll pull out the original issue of Wildcats X-Men that Adam Hughes drew. Because Shanth got a hold of the pencils and he photocopied them. And I photocopied them from Shanth's photocopies. So I have the photocopied pencils of that book. And this is before artist editions became a thing. And it's awesome to see Adam Hughes' drawings. Like, he's such a phenomenal draftsman. He's better at covers, Cranberry Lander says. He's done some of the best Wonder Woman and Catwoman covers ever of all time. I think they have a whole book of Adam Hughes' stuff that's just his cover work that he did for DC. And it's worth it. It's amazing. Emo Trash says, I just signed into class. He's playing some jazz. Why does it go so well? Bip-bap-a-doopy-doo. Emo Trash says he got cut off, got to run by. Jeffrey Beats says, Adam Hughes is amazing. I've got a few of his covers, especially a cool X-Men Classics with Jean Grey. I know that one. It's amazing. Hooroo. These comic artists and their girls. Fantasy indeed. He's the guy. If you want a guy... If I had to pick comic artists to draw a girl, Adam Hughes would be number one on my list. Hands down. I wish Adam Hughes still did interiors, Cranberry says. Probably take a while these days, though. Yeah, I think it's just the speed. The speed thing. Like, these guys, I know the Gaijin guys are just known for being too slow to do regular books. That was kind of the rub. So a lot of them just flipped to doing covers or 2-issue one-offs or annuals or whatever. They could never, none of them really were able to maintain a regular series because it's just a grind. The turnaround so fast. I'd like to say, like, the quality of their artwork demanded them to go slower. Like, they were just doing things on another level. They weren't the, like, quick, speedy artists. They took so much time and care in their artwork. Did it hurt their careers? Probably. And most likely the rates to draw covers were way better than doing interior pages anyway. And so they just kind of leaned more in that direction. But it's a shame because, at least for the Gaijin guys, their interior work was, and their storytelling ability was better than some of the people on regular books. So it's a shame that the economy of the comic book industry leads people to not really do, storytelling. Yeah, Terry Dodson, I hated about 10%. I want to like Terry Dodson's art more. Ditto on Not Being Sold. I also get a bit bored with his work more than I'd like. Yeah. You just can't help but look at it and go, "Ooh, that's you're just ripping off an Adam Hughes face there, man." And it's been so long. He's been doing it way longer than I've been alive. He's been, no, not that long, but he's been doing comics for a long time, Terry Dot. So he has a whole body of work. His wife works in comics too. I think the current book he's working on is called Adventure Man, and I haven't picked it up. But yeah, it's one thing to be influenced by an artist. It's another thing to kind of make a career off of their style. And I feel like that's what Terry Dodson does. He is the Adam Hughes that can do sequential art because he's fast. But I'd argue his artwork was never to the level of Adam Hughes. That last Gen book was the best, has the best look, as in this one. Never mind, I need to rant for a second. He literally waited till just now to say he's postponing the due date on this essay till Monday. Dang. That's not cool. After I already went through the trouble of making sure it was, hey, then now you got the weekend. Now you got extra time to just bum around. Added bonus. Adam Hughes' letters look solid, classic comic style. Yep. This cover doesn't match the inside very 90210 look. You think? I mean, there's a little bit of variances in the faces. Like, you can kind of tell where Adam Hughes is doing his, like, natural. This is definitely like a Adam Hughes face, eyes. This is Adam Hughes' face. And then this is like, it's referencing something for this, for these guys. It's a lot more personality or, I don't know, it's all good. It's really good. I'm going to lose 20 years off my life just from trying to process this professor. Oh, my goodness. Grodd is probably responsible. Grodd. I really recommended a lot of Adam Hughes cover Wonder Woman single issues. He really liked the art. Really recommended a lot of Adam Hughes covered Wonder Woman single issues. He really liked the art. One day I'll be 100% Bogan. On that day, I will no longer care about comics. All right, see you later, Emo. Hope you feel better. Hopefully you don't get so incensed by this professor. Mark's music obsession says he's hungry but don't want to cook. Yeah, it's leftover time or takeout time. No, it looks like he's copying and it doesn't feel like there's any spirit in it. Oh, for Dodson, yeah. I hate to like speak down on artists. It's just a hard job, and he's successful at it. So who am I? Who am I to say? Okay, Gen 13. We did that. We did Monkeyman O'Brien, Wired. Okay, here's the last one of the Gen 13 mix. Drawn by J. Scott Campbell himself. So this is issue 13C. I have no idea. It's a little thinner than a regular issue. But this is classic J. Scott Campbell. Lots of cheese. Talk about cheesecake. But the cool thing about this issue, and I have no recollection or context of where this is, what is going on in here. I don't know enough about the Gen 13 stories to know what's going on here. But for some odd reason, there's a lot of cameos. So Madman's in here. This is Mike Allred's Madman. The Max, Sam Keith's The Max is here. Billy Tucci's She is here. This is Lady Death, I believe. Maybe I need to cover that. A little bit exposed. Hellboy. Now here's a funny thing. J. Scott Campbell drawing Arthur Adams, Monkeyman, and O'Brien. Pretty awesome. There's She again. Look at all these like cheesecake poses. They're amazing. J. Scott Campbell is so good at doing this. But it's funny, he's drawing Monkeyman O'Brien, which he's influenced by Arthur Adams, drawing an Arthur Adams creation. It's pretty awesome. I just love seeing his take on all these characters. Glenda the Good Witch is here. Wolverine, so cool. This is Tony Robbins, I think, the motivational speaker. Many people might not know this, but one of J. Scott Campbell's influences, along with Arthur Adams and Jim Lee, is Mort Drucker, who was a Mad Magazine artist. And Mort Drucker was a great caricature artist. So you can see it in here, like that totally looks like Tony Robbins, but in a J. Scott Campbell style, in a caricature style. So it's fun. And that added a lot of personality to J. Scott's work, was the caricatureness of it. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in this series. Maybe it sponsored the comic Anthony Robinson. This is weird. So, so yeah, I don't know what this book was about, but kind of fun. It was fun that I found it in a dollar bin box. And to wrap up the whole Gen 13 journey, we'll probably talk about Gen 13 more in the future because I think Jay Scott's what he did with that series was phenomenal and was great. And he just has such a cool style, fun, sexy, really great artist, a lot of cartooniness in his art. And he was super popular at the time. And now he himself is just doing predominantly covers as well. I don't see him doing much sequential art anymore either. And again, I think it's the same thing. It's like too much work, not enough pay, the rate of payment, and the schedules are just too breakneck for artists to stay in it. So they'll either become cover artists, they'll go and work in the film animation field to make more money. Like that's happened to so many artists, so many comic book artists. There we go. Gen 13. Okay. That was all the comicsy stuff. And then one of the last things we'll look at today is this. I sneak peeked this a little bit in my Master Study stream. This was one of the things I found at a comic book store this weekend. It's a back issue of a trade magazine called Comics Interview. But the reason why I picked it up is it's interviewing Frank Miller, because he, at the time this came out, which was 1990. Wow, 1990. He was writing the RoboCop movie, number 2, RoboCop 2. But look at this amazing cover. Frank Miller drew this cover, and then Brian Stelfreeze, who was studio mates with Adam Hughes, painted it in his awesome style. I love this cover. I love it so bold they don't even put like his visor or his face at all. It's all in shadow. But you know it's RoboCop. It's awesome. I know it's just Terry Dodson's best when I feel he has his heart in it. Yeah, how do you... I think Adventure Man is his own creation, so maybe that's a better book to read, for me to read, to try and get into his work. Yeah, I've seen it in the library too, so maybe I'll check it out and read it and see if he's a good writer. Awesome One's giving his recipe for good steak. Nice. Ooh, I could do with some steak. Multiple dimensions were established in the Gen 13 universe. Yeah, it was a great cornerstone for a bunch of different stories to come out of it. And the characters were really memorable in that. And I think they were just... It was great because it was almost like Awesome One alluded to a little bit earlier. It was like 90210 meets Mutants. And like the cool factor of 90210 meets the X-Men or whatever. So... It was really fun, and to have an artist like J. Scott Campbell break on that story and just develop as a career artist was so awesome. Tony Robbins sells a Wolverine a condo in Antarctica. Definitely worth a buck. That's right. Stop. Read the Max. I love the Max. Okay, so there's some photos. Interview with Frank Miller. That's so cool. RoboCop. Peter Sellers. So I'll kind of skip through this. This is him just talking about the movie, the whole screenwriting process, and then getting into his comic stuff at the time too. So Frank Miller was the writer on Martha Washington. This is one of the series, Martha Washington, which is actually a good series.
drawn by Dave Gibbons, who was the artist on Watchmen. It was their pairing up. This is so cool. This is artwork from Elektra Lives Again. So that's the book I've looked at with you guys in a previous stream. But if you remember, it's really it's painted by Lynn Varley. So it's like gorgeously painted by Lynn Varley. But this is so cool to see Frank Miller's line work on it. Do you remember that staircase? That was one of those pages that stood out in that book. It's so cool to see it in black and white. This is Frank Miller, man. He is just the best. Look at how he's like the shadow, very noir influenced shadow was leading your eye here. Boom, the bed, and then you just follow the figure down. It's all in one panel. I mean, one page. And it's an incredible perspective on that staircase. I love Frank Miller. Okay, this is cool. This is Hard Boiled is a story he partnered up with Jeff Darrow. I don't know if Adam's still in the chat, but he's always a big supporter of me doing a master study of Jeff Darrow, which would probably kill me. But this was the one of the linchpin stories they worked on together, and it's awesome. I have a couple versions of it. Maybe that's a good stream to look at one time of Hard Boiled. It's kind of a film noir, future noir story. Here's some more Elektra. Oh, this is Daredevil stuff. Yeah, more Elektra stuff. Can't be Frank Miller without ninjas. Oh, this is Jeff Darrow artwork from Hard Boiled. Oh, that's awesome. This is Dave Gibbons from Martha Washington. That's good. It's from Elektra Lives Again. It's really cool to see it in black and white because the color work on that is so striking and beautiful, but just seeing it in black and white in this little interview is awesome. Some random cover that he did. So this is 1990, but he's already drawing in this like line work style. This is pre-Sin City. Post Dark Knight Returns. Ah, this is the artwork that this cover came from, I think. It's great. Cool. This is Peter Laird, one of the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think they're talking about the first movie here. Yeah, I love these magazines. They feel like so indie, like behind the scenes. Some older stuff here. Alex Raymond. Oh, I think this guy was a stunt double in for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that movie. Yeah, I love getting my hands on a whole. It's really hard to find these magazines these days unless you're looking through like back issue boxes and stuff. But they've got some gems, some really good stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Frank Miller's Dark Knight special. Man, I got to get that. Got to look for that one. Cool. Comics interview. Frank Miller. Awesome one likes RoboCop. Just had a new game come out for RoboCop. Really? Did they? I need to watch that movie again. I love that. This is the problem with these old magazines, though. They leave they print on that crappy, the nostalgic newsprint that solved the war in Ukraine, as Bancroft said. But they get fingerprints all over the place. Looking for a review of a way back issue, hint April 1985. This staircase was part of Phil's, Pear's, and Bancroft's 12 commandments for creating good comics. Nice. Yeah, it's a stunner. I saw a recent Wolverine cover that Miller did, and it was very rough. The comic shop owner went on a rant about how bad it was, as they wanted to special order it. Do I have that one? Jeffrey Beats. I might have the one you're talking about. Is he in costume or out of costume? I really like the art for it was an Image comic. Clone. I don't think I've heard of that. We talked about that cover. Rocky likes it. I do not care for it. Okay, yes. TMNT looked cool, rough on the actors. Yeah, that was a fun movie. And I don't think anybody thought it would do as well as it did. Like, to try and make that a live action movie was not, people didn't know that was on their bingo card. But it turned out so good. And I think because they had like amazing people on it, like Phil Tippett Studios were part of the people who built all the costumes. So it was really, really well done. I'm starting to want to buy old Overstreet Price guides from the 90s, early 2000s to try and find good comics. Yeah. I think I've still seen Overstreet Price Guide. But yeah, I love all these, like Comics Interview, and there's not a magazine that's like this anymore that I know of. And there's so much you can learn about an artist or an era or something. And so whenever I find them, I'm always looking through and making sure, or looking through to see like what each issue is about. I think I've showed you guys before. I have one that's like a huge compilation of a bunch of Frank Miller interviews. It might include this Dark Knight one here, but if it doesn't, I definitely want to find that, because that would be awesome. Out of costume Wolverine cover, black background. Oh, no. The one I have, I think, is the one he's in costume. It was a Deadpool one, I think. Oh, was it? I know which one. Hang on, I know which one, I think. It might have been one Bancroft talked about. Yeah, it might have been one that Bancroft did a YouTube short video that got like 500,000 views on or something. It was crazy. Is it this one, Jeffrey Beats? Is it that cover? The one on the right here? I don't have that cover. The one I have is this one. With Deadpool. I love it. I love that it's a Frank Miller cover. He's done a lot of covers of a bunch of stuff recently. And a lot of people hate it. Like this is a current one that he did. That's awesome. It's so Frank Miller. It really is.
crazy Human Torch one. Anyway, I will always jump on the Frank Miller train, whatever he does. Not that I like all of it, but I love Frank Miller. Speaking of which, join me for the next master study. When is that going to happen? Probably next week, but I'll see if I can squeeze in another one this week because I do want to keep going on that page. I've been having such a great time doing it. And it's turning out great. So it's a whole nother level of appreciating his work by actually trying to reproduce it on these master studies. Awesome One says there's a crowdfunded mag that covers comics and whatnot. Oh, really? Yeah, Overstreet does still come out. It does, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's the one. Just order it, man. Make your comic book store owner get it for you because it's worth it. Don't regret it. Frank Miller's still alive while you can get it. The second he passes on, that thing's going to become a collector's item. Mark my words. If there's a link, Awesome One, let me know. Crowdfunded mag that covers comics. I'd love to know what that is. I wanted to pay 20. Dang. That's dedication right there. Both are bad, Mark's Music Possession says. Why is he like, you're willing to pay him money for that? What in the heck? If that's what you want, that's what you should get. What is his deal? Ranted about alternative covers being a rip. On reflection, I didn't get it. I'm sorry, man. I would have gotten it. Jeez Louise. You're trying to give the guy money. It's not like you want to steal it from him. Here's another one. Look at that one. That one's cool. This is, of course, a classic one right here from the original Wolverine series. Look at that. Oh, that one's so good. Come on, it's awesome. Ah, dang. I wonder if I can look up current Frank Miller covers. Here they all are, or a lot of them. People have just been hating on these. That blade's pretty cool. Come on. That's pretty cool. Sabretooth. I love it. It elicits a response. Daredevil. This one's been getting a lot of flack. Black Cat, because of her pose. Look at this Batman cover. That's awesome. Falling in Love at the Path of Hell. I don't know that book, but that's cool. That could be right out of Sin City. Look at this Loki cover. Cool. Captain America. Thanos. This Moon Knight's pretty cool. Come on, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I like the coloring on that cover. This is when he was doing Ronin, which is one of my favorite Frank Miller things. That's not too far from these covers that everybody's poo-pooing on, you know? The stylization on that. Red Hulk. Oh my gosh. We saw this one, The Thing. Oh, there's that comics interview. Special edition. I gotta find that. Oh, that's the cover for it, actually. Galactus. I love it. I love it all. Look at this Deathlock. That's awesome. That's a cool cover. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Frank Miller is a goat. He is the goat. There's that Deadpool one. It's pretty cool. See, like this. This is like classic Dark Knight Returns cover. That is not too far from this. And yet everybody lauds this as like the best thing on the planet, which it is. That's not too far from this. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Fun stuff. Well, just by seeing Miller's line art, it was probably the inkers and colors that made him look good. No. Blasphemy. Comic book shop owner I go to in the weekend is old school cool. Nice. It's all fun. I mean, he should do whatever he wants style-wise, but nobody has to like everything. It's true. It's totally true. Zaid Comics, what's up, Phil? He likes the Moon Knight. The Moon Knight's killer. It's good. Everybody's saying hello to Phil. Jeffrey, I want your choice of a couple of older Australian TV series. That's specific. Comic book shop owner reckons Miller is getting old now and only does half jobs for big money. Not like the art from your artist study. It is different, and I do agree he is getting older. But my point is like he's evolving and still doing impactful artwork. As crazy as it might look for some people, and to Mark's Music Obsession's point, everybody doesn't have to love it. But he's evolving, like, and you see all artists do this. Like, it's just age. It really is. And time and ability. It just, you got to evolve, and Frank's doing it. You know, he's doing it. He's still active. He's still making money. He doesn't have to, I don't think. He doesn't have to keep doing it, but I think based on the stuff that he's done, I can't imagine that he needs to still work to earn a living for everything that he's put into his body of work. But I think he does it just because he loves it still, and people still pay him big money to do it. So I don't know. I admire it. I would want to go out in a blaze of glory like Frank Miller does in my career if I could do that. There's a big difference between the old and new stuff, right? Because there's more realism to it. It's an evolution, and Frank Miller has evolved on multiple fronts in his career over several eras, and I find every single one of them super exciting. I'll show you guys. I mean, we've looked at this. Maybe this will be the last thing I look at. Oh, not this one. This is why you got to put your issue numbers on the front. Yeah, like this is now Frank Miller, right? Like this came out maybe a couple years ago, but I would consider this current Frank Miller style. This was from Ronin 2, his book 2. And this is the same style that he's drawing on those covers. But it's awesome. It's black and white. Now, the story is a bit much. It's a bit crazy. And he's telling a lot of this in double page spreads. Is that because he's tired? He's older, doesn't have time to do sequential story? Maybe, I don't know. But he's telling a story, and he's kind of he's not just sitting back and withering away. He's like trying to evolve his art to fit with what he can do now. And I appreciate that so much. They actually released this in a compiled version. So I actually didn't like the format of the individual issues on this because they recently released a compiled hardcover that is landscape format, because a lot of his compositions are wide like this, double page spreads like this, and it makes a lot more sense. And then I just found out, I didn't see it in any of the stores today. I'm going to kind of look for it, but they released a manga digest version of this, so I'm curious to see how that feels in this format. But like this is similar to the cover style he's doing. Look how cool that is. That is rad. It's really cool. And he did the layouts on all this. They had another artist, Philip Tan, was doing the penciling or the artwork on most of the series, but Frank came in and did a few issues himself, but he apparently did all the layouts. So they all have this similar feel to it. I don't know. I love it. Yeah, this is Philip Tan stuff. So that's a cool cover. Right. Cranberry just says being the GOAT is not in question. Love it or list it. Jeffrey Beats talking about TV shows from Australia. How are you approaching these new pieces, Rocky, that you love them? Explain your approach to his work for me, please, Rocky. How are you approaching these new pieces that you love them? You mean, what is my thinking in it? It's just, I don't know. I just think they're really unique. They're, at least for all those covers, all jokes aside for those covers, he's boiling them down to who those characters are in those images. You can't look at those images and go like, wait, who is that? It's like instant. You know exactly who that character is. They create a reaction. They're very striking. And again, I'm just talking about these cover images. They're super striking. And yeah, I don't know. They just elicit a response, like an emotion behind it. Not just like, oh, I like it or don't like it, but it's just like the characters are like emitting an emotion. I love it. He's a Pokemon. He's evolved. That's right. That's right. All right. There's a lot of recommendations for Australia. Check out in the chat, Australian TV series. Awesome one says, this looks similar to a manga I read. Never mind, you liked Miller, John Romita Jr., and Jack Kirby too. I do. Yeah, it's like the stylization of his later stuff now is getting to that Jack Kirby exaggeration, like pushing more in that direction. And that's cool. It's really cool. You're into the now cubisty style. Maybe. This cover is good. Jun Ito look. Yeah, I can see that. And he's highly influenced by a lot of manga. So yeah, I'm ride or die Frank Miller all day, every day. All right, well, that's what I got. Yeah, that's all I got here. I do have one more thing, but I'll save that for later. That's it. It's not important. It'll be more important in the future. Well, you'll get it. Cranberry Lane just says, okay, pared down, boiled down, and evocative. Yes, that sounds like a ChatGPT summary of what I just said. I love it. I like that. Yes, it's pared down, evocative. That's a good word. Thank you, Cranberry Langers. Whew. All right, that was great. That's the week. That's the week of comics, everyone. stay tuned for the next master study. For those of you who have not seen, make sure I don't spill this water. Speaking of Frank Miller, this is where we are at in the master study. That was the first panel that I inked, which turned out so awesome, if I do say so myself. Not because of me, but because of the artwork where it started from. So turned out great. I'm really excited to move on to the next panel, which is Electra's face. If you can kind of see the light blue there, that's probably what I'll hit in the next master study that we get to. So stay tuned for when that will be. If I can squeeze one in before the end of the week, I will. But don't hold your breath necessarily. If not, for sure, starting at the beginning of next week, I will get one in because let's keep rolling on that page. It's turning out awesome and very exciting to work on that. Thank you all so much for coming here. Please hit that like. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. I'm going to be working on some editing on some more shorts. Maybe we'll go into the yeah or nah on the comic shorts. I think I'm going to try that based on our discussion at the beginning of the stream. And then I'll also be editing some down from the previous master study. I'll be making a little bit more short clips because those got some good engagement on my channel. I'm really distracted because my cat is yelling at me. That's got some good engagement on my channel, and they're helping the subscribers and the watch hours to go up, which is all awesome for this channel. So make sure you hit the like, smash the like, and hit the subscribe, whatever order you want to do that. Tell your friends, and I will see you guys next week or next time on my channel. Thank you so much for being here. It was awesome hanging out with you guys. Talk to you later.